Super Bowl 49 is all set. It should be a dandy, but can it possibly top what took place Sunday in Seattle? The defending champs pull off a rally for the ages, and afterwards, even the winners were in tears. We will get DY's thoughts on that wild game and take your calls as well tonight on After the Game with Darrel Young.
Live from News Channel 8, this is After the Game with Darrel Young.
It was one of the wildest, most entertaining NFL playoff games we have seen in some time. It went into overtime and ended with cheers and even tears out in Seattle, and it paves the way for what should be an epic matchup in Super Bowl 49. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight on After the Game with Darrel Young. Alex Parker, DY. What a football game.
What a football weekend.
What a football weekend. All the last nights, the nightcap last night I thought was disappointing on a couple levels. We will get to that. DY, first up, the Super Bowl matchup that we have. There were 4 options going into yesterday, 4 potential matchups. I think we got the best one, I think. We'll see when they play in 2 weeks. But what do you make on a cursory level, Seahawks, Patriots?
It's going to be an exciting football game. I think it's going to come down to Seattle's offense versus New England's defense, because you know what you're going to get out of Seattle's defense. You know what you're going to get, hopefully, out of the Patriots' offense. So I think, looking at it from that standpoint, both of those teams, they mirror each other. They're up in the stats. This is both good football teams. They know how to win, and Tom Brady going to a 6th Super Bowl, in 10 years or something like that. It's ridiculous, and winning 2. And I think they have a shot to win. I'm not going to count them out, but I did say both of those teams are going to win last week, and they won. So
okay, DY was on it. 703-387-1020 is our lawn and leisure hotline if you want to talk with DY about the NFL games from yesterday, obviously, and look ahead to Super Bowl 49. This game yesterday, DY. It reminded me of, the Seahawks remind me of Mike Tyson. And they almost win games, especially at their place, before the game starts. They have this intimidating, they're the champs. They are the heavyweight champs of the NFL. And it felt for about 9 rounds like the Packers had them on the ropes. What'd you make of this game as it was unfolding when the Packers were in command?
I said it was too early. When they didn't get touchdowns out of the turnovers that they had early on, I said it's going to be a long game for those guys because you have to convert in those situations and get 6 points and not 3 points. When playing in Seattle, you got to take advantage of every opportunity. And then when Kuhn didn't score on that touchdown, I said, you know what, Seattle's going to come back and win this game. I didn't know how. I didn't know when they would come back. But I said, even to my cousins, we were watching the game together. I said at halftime, it's going to be a different ball game in the second half because you have to keep that intensity for 60 minutes. And it's hard to do it on the road. Obviously, you're up, but they're at home. They have the 12th man with them. I don't know if you've ever been to Seattle, but
twice.
That's the loudest stadium I've been around, So, I'm not surprised by what they did.
The Seahawks are down 16-0. It's late in the game, and then they're going to go for a field goal. Seattle's going to go for a field goal, and I think to myself, they're going for a field goal to make it a 13-point game? What good is that going to do? And then, DY, you're a special teams guy. How on earth do the Packers not sort of expect fake field goal?
You watch film and you see something. They caught him in a vulnerable situation. They were going to block the field goal, and that was one of the turning points in the game, I think. When I seen that happen, I said, yep, here we go. You got a punter throwing a touchdown to an offensive lineman, and I think 2 offensive linemen scored yesterday. Going back to the Patriots game, looking at Nate Soldier, I think his name is. So, it's exciting. But they took advantage of, what they seen on film, and they capitalized. And obviously that play was practice. It wasn't, just something that they put together on the sideline.
Wasn't a fire drill.
No, you can't just show up on Sunday and do that. You can, if you have to make a sideline adjustment, but most of the time you see something on film and, you react to what they do.
So that happens, and I think we all think, okay, this is going to swing Seattle's way. But it doesn't. In fact, Russell Wilson then throws his 4th pick of the game, and I think everybody in North America thought the game was over, including Morgan Burnett, who picked a DY. There's a lot of time left, and he takes a knee. What did you make of this? When it happened. Hindsight, we know, is 2020. When he did this, did you think the Packers fellow, was sort of giving up too early?
I wouldn't say giving up too early, but I said he's got a lot of open field. He's got offensive linemen chasing him. You got to go try to put yourself in a situation and score. But I got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback too. So obviously he's seen something. Maybe he didn't want to fumble. He just wanted to get off the field, and it happened. So. I'm sure he regrets it today, but you got to come out with points in that situation and not just punt the ball.
It's so easy now to say, what was he doing? But when it happened, I sort of said, you know what? That's what they do. Had he run it back and it was stripped, and you see this a lot when folks that aren't used to carrying the football, then folks would have said, yeah, just got to take a knee, you're up 2 scores. Anyway, we are building here with what the Seahawks did yesterday. It was remarkable. Then they score a touchdown, Seattle, and they need to get an onside kick. And they line up, and everybody in North America knows we're getting an onside kick. DY, you're a teams guy. These things are sort of coin flips, are they not?
That hurts. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. You go back to the situation we had in the Giants game, and they onside kick from the 30-yard line, and they do something we've never seen and recover the ball. But like I said, everyone in America knows it's coming, but it's about the kick, it's about the execution, and Seattle did a good job of getting the ball back, and that hurt.
You feel so badly for the tight end that will never live this down. DY, and your Bostic is his name, Brandon Bostic. You've had, maybe not on this sort of exposure level, you've made bad plays before.
Absolutely.
Do these things sit with you forever?
They do. One of my cousins, I was with him this weekend. He said, "How'd you run into Andre Roberts?" And I'm like, "It happens, man."
He's bringing that thing up from 3 months ago?
That was last season.
He's the cousin you don't like.
No, I like him. He's about 12 now, so that's okay.
Okay. He's a young fella.
But you look at those situations. That's why I like to go block on onside kick. I want to handle the ball. I want to be the guy to get in that situation and make the big play. But I'm a bigger body type guy, and I'm always in the front line, so I'm going to go block a guy and let the guys like Pierre Garçon, who they pay to make those plays,
exactly.
do their job.
So then Russell Wilson gets the ball back, and to this point he has had an awful football game, probably the worst game he's ever played on any level in his entire life, and we all know how gifted Russell Wilson is. And then DY, this fellow comes through in the clutch.
I'm not surprised. He just makes plays, play after play after play, and everyone talks about his mechanics, and maybe he may not do the little things right, but he stood in the pocket, he delivered a strike, and that's what he does. That's why he's going to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks probably in the league next year.
I thought of this today, that we knew, and this was so sort of moving and sincere and earnest and real. We knew he was really good. I mean, we knew he was good last year. We knew he was a champion, and he was all those things. And had the Seahawks come out and won 31-13, and it was easy, then it would have just been one more thing on Russell Wilson's quiver. But what he did yesterday in fighting back, bringing himself back, bringing his team back, I don't want to overstate this, DY. I think he is now sort of legendary. It's different when you do it when it's not easy. Am I right about this, or am I overstating this?
No, you're absolutely right. He's a guy that makes plays in big time situations. That's what you want from your quarterback position, and he's just one of those guys week after week to put his team in a situation to be successful. And I'm excited to watch the kid play. I'm an RG3 fan. All those guys get drafted the same year, but it's exciting to see guys who were low round picks, even though he was a 3rd round pick, but kind of be 5'11" and be the the underdog, and always say you're too small and have to transfer schools because they didn't want to use you the way that you're supposed to be used and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just exciting to hear his story and what he does, and throughout the community every week and on the field every week.
There you see the stats, and there you see this sort of epic image from this game with him in tears. I couldn't sort of remember. I remember Michael Jordan back in the day crying with the trophy sort of cradled in his arms. I imagine you guys cry a lot in locker rooms. I don't remember seeing fellows on the football field, especially having won a football game, cry. Here's Russell Wilson after the game.
Just thinking about that game and thinking about just, I don't know, just going through the ups and downs of life, in the past year, but also more so of just winning the Super Bowl last year and people doubting what we could do. It's just an emotional time for me. I think about my dad right away, I wish he was here, but he's watching. He's got the best seat in the house, so that's why I got emotional. Just the guys we have around us, man. I think the resilience of our football team is unmatchable.
DY, you are one of the few folks that are lucky enough to play in this league. There's 53 guys in the team. There's 32 teams. It's about 1,600 of you on this planet. My sense is that there's a new face of the National Football League, and it's that one. It's Russell Wilson. Is he a good guy to be the face of your league? Because that's the sense I'm getting, especially when Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are sort of waning. Not waning. Peyton is. Tom's still there. They're not going to be around 5 years from now.
Yeah, I think, looking at what he's done up until this point, 2 Super Bowl runs in 3 years, what his team has done, the way he's, played football at his position, the things that he's done in the community, being up, I believe he's up for the Walter Payton for his team, going to the hospital every week. You hear things about, positive things about what he does on a week-in, week-out basis. So I'm not not surprised at all by how they're playing right now, because they have that camaraderie. They get it. They gelled, and they're just one of those football teams who will be good for a long time. Just as long as they stick together, and that's where we want to get to, just the trust and belief in each other.
DY is the Walter Payton Award winner for the Washington Redskins with all the wonderful charitable work you have done. Let's sneak in one quick call. Don't know how quick she can be sometimes. It is our buddy Tanya in Martinsburg wants to weigh in tonight. Hi, Tanya. How are you?
Hi, Alex. Hi, DY.
Hello.
I just got to tell you guys, I just love the Redskins, the former Redskins players coming together to denounce their former organization of carrying the racist name Redskins. Y'all just never stop with the entertainment. I thought it was a great game, and Seattle's going to have to be at their best, because you never know what Bill Belichick is going to throw at you. So it should be a very entertaining
Okay,
Super
thank you,
Bowl.
Tanya. Thank you, Tanya, very much. Tanya from Martinsburg, the Cowboys fan that likes to chime
That
in.
might be the most insightful thing she said since she's called and said Belichick and all that stuff. You got to be careful with that stuff. But, oh, Tanya.
Tanya, DY liked that call. I hope our viewers did as well. We got to do a break. If you have watched this DY show this season, you know we have promised to give away to one of our callers that got through on our Lawn and Leisure hotline a big green egg. That big green egg grill and smoker. Sure enough, we have a winner. I hope it's you. We will announce the winner later in the show. Here is your injury report brought to you by the Cochran Law Firm. Seattle's Richard Sherman injured his left elbow Sunday. Sherman stayed in the game. The team says Sherman had an MRI. Those results have not been released. Pete Carroll expects Sherman to play in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. That is your injury report brought to you by the Cochran Law Firm. Welcome back to After the Game with Darrel Young. DY, the Patriots. We mentioned it before. Tom Brady. This is his 6th Super Bowl. He's won 3. The only 2 he's lost, ironically, to the Giants in Glendale, where this Super Bowl will be. How do they keep doing this? Other than deflating footballs, possibly. We'll get there.
Bill Belichick has a great system, what he does up there with those guys. And we get a lot of guys who, we had a couple guys coming in from, this season. We practiced versus them, so our coaches got a chance to look at, some of their linebackers and, listen to what they do up there on a daily basis, the way they practice, the way they approach the game, the meetings that they have, the countless hours that they spend in, just off the field together, stuff like that. Some guys compare it to boot camp in a sense where it's a good boot camp where you're going to, also have results in a positive way. Obviously, you do something every day, you're supposed to be really good at it, but the results show up there. And I got a chance to watch Coach Belichick, when we practiced against him in training camp. He was doing squats to the floor, and I'm like, look at this guy. How could you not play hard for a guy that's doing squats and, doesn't say anything about it, just trains every day? And they said that's his routine every day. So I don't really know him personally. I said hi to him. I was excited, and, I said, hey, I'm a fullback.
What did he say?
So he just said, hey, I know who you are, man. I'm like, okay, cool. Appreciate that. And I'm done 36 again, though, by the way. So he was really cool, and it's just exciting to see, that he could put himself what the players go through.
Oh, that's fun. I'm number 36, by the way. Bill Belichick is, I don't know if he's getting heat, but the NFL announced today, they didn't announce, but they at least released information that they were looking into allegations that the Patriots may have deflated some footballs yesterday. They won by 40 points. It presumably had no outcome on the game. But DY, this notion that they may be accused of some unsavory things, should it not surprise us in that every NFL team is probably doing everything they can do to get any minute advantage? Or are you surprised by this talk?
I'm surprised. I mean, they had a lot of allegations going back, a couple of years in terms of them cheating with the hand signals and stuff like that. But the game's played on the field regardless if football's deflated or not. They ran the ball for a ridiculous amount, and I believe if you take all the passing touchdowns away, if you run the ball, they still win the game. Having LeGarrette Blount have 3 touchdowns. So regardless, at the end of the day, they just spanked those guys really good. So
it'll give us something to talk about for a week before we get going to the Super Bowl week in earnest. A year ago, we were talking about Richard Sherman and the comments. It's always something.
Always.
Now it's the possibility of deflated footballs, and perhaps the Patriots, we're trying to skirt the rules. Back to our lawn and leisure hotline. Harry is in Southeast. Hi, Harry. What's up? Hey, Harry. Line 1. Harry, you're on, buddy. Okay. Okay, Mary with an M, is also in Southeast tonight on line 3. Hi, Mary, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's up?
I was just saying that I'm not what you call an avid football, person, but due to the fact that my grandsons have been involved in it for, since elementary school up to, college, I just felt it very unprofessional of the quarterback for the cheeseheads, as I call them, to say what he said after the game was over. He never congratulated the Seahawks. He made a comment that the best team, in other words, did not win. They should have won.
Yep.
See, and I think that right there has killed him and his attitude as far as being a person. See, this is why the Redskins can't get it together, because they don't understand that there's no such thing as a star on a team. It's called team. This is why you spell it T-E-A-M. And these guys, when you put so much emphasis on one player, it gives the rest of them a little, their feelings are hurt. It them affected their manhood. It just them changed their whole attitude.
Okay.
I've watched this in high school with my grandsons.
Thank you, Mary.
And the coaches shouldn't have favorites.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Couple of things. First of all, Jay Gruden ought to have Mary out to Ashburn to talk to the troops.
As a grown man, I'm never going to be a hater of what the guys, who accomplished some things on my team go to. Alfred Morris is in the Pro Bowl. I wanted to be there, but I'm excited for him. He went there. I called him, hey, congratulate him, all that stuff.
You helped him get there.
At the same time, regardless of anything, we play together, and I don't agree with, what you said, because the players aren't building up Robert Griffin. The media, the fans, everyone else is. We're just playing with him and, having his back on everything, supporting everything that he does. But we're not up there saying, you're the, we got to say you're the best player, but we're not putting him in a situation where he thinks he's above us. If you know Robert, he's one of those guys that approaches the game every day and says, hey, we're all equal. And he says, he made a comment saying that, hey, I need all these guys together. Well, they never asked him. They never said the question on Twitter. They just responded to what he said, and put that on Twitter. So I know what type of guy he is, and I don't, I get what she's saying about the superstardom, but that's not the players doing anything. We can't control that. We're just out there playing football.
Yep. Thank you, Mary, for the call. Got to do a break. Eddie in Temple Hills, Keith in Centerville, stay on the line. We'll try to get to your calls. Up next, we will reveal the winner of the Big Green Egg. We're kind of psyched. That and more after this. Don't go away.
Here's our Normandy Carpet Care play of the game. Third quarter of the AFC Championship game. Third and short, you think it's a run play? Nope. Tom Brady throws it to offensive tackle Nate Soder, who takes it in the rest of the way. Dives in for the touchdown, Pats win. And Nate Soder has your Normandy Carpet Care play of the game.
DY, I know you get psyched when you get a touchdown. You get quite a few almost every time. I would argue that you get more touchdowns per touches than anybody in football. One game you had 3 touches and 3 touchdowns. Can't do any better than that.
I'm excited. They want to give me the ball, all right.
It's funny watching these big boys run, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. He covered the ball up. Yeah, he covered the ball up pretty well. I was excited
They're
to see
like
that.
so pumped. They're like sort of rolling in. 703-387-1020 is our lawn and leisure hotline. And here's the deal. If you've watched this show this season and you've called in to that lawn and leisure hotline, then you have been entered to win a great big green egg, which is I actually have one on my deck at home. It is a grill and it is a smoker, and every caller that called in got registered. We have chosen a winner. We have the winner, DY. Her name is Loretta Haley from Northern Virginia. Loretta is a loyal viewer. She's an avid Redskins fan. There's a picture of Loretta with her big green egg. She came in to the studio to pick the thing up. When I say pick it up, trust me, DY, they should call it the heavy green egg. We didn't let her leave without chatting with Loretta about her Redskins and her new big green egg. How long until they turn this thing around?
2.5 years.
2.5 years?
Yeah. Because it's going to take a half a year for them to even get themselves together with our new general manager. And yay, I'm so glad we got one.
What do you think of Darrel Young?
I love DY
Why?
because he just has a personality that exuberates and lifts up everyone else. So whether they win or lose.
What's the first thing you're going to cook on this bad boy?
I have no idea.
Whatever it is, it'll be good. It like cooks forever, and everything's good on the big green egg.
Well, I understand that you can't really mess up by using one, so
You can
whatever
try.
I cook, it's going to come out good.
I know where we're going after the show. We're going to Loretta's house for some big green egg output. It's fun that the viewers got to call in and talk with you this season. We have one more show next week. We'll get you ready for Super Bowl 49. Your dad's a great cook, correct?
He is.
What could he do up on that big green egg?
I told him I was going to get him one for Christmas, and he yelled at me about not getting it after I told him that.
Oh, it's one of these deals, the
Yeah,
parent, don't get me anything.
He's got 9 grills already in the backyard. I mean, he doesn't need any more.
He doesn't have a big green egg.
He doesn't, but he has a big smoker.
Sweet. I've seen some of the stuff DY's dad has brought for you. That's money. Congratulations, Loretta. Best of luck with the big green egg. We will have more after this. Don't go away. It should be just awesome. Of course, we thought that last year, and then the Super Bowl was like awful, but we'll see what happens. Here's the deal. One more show with DY. Next Monday night, he'll be back 7 o'clock on News Channel 8. We'll get DY's official prediction. And then you were going to Australia, Super Bowl week.
Yes.
On like a sort of mission.
Military tour. I do one every year, and this year is Australia.
Thank you so much, DY. We look forward to next Monday at 7 o'clock, the DY show. DY was going to go to his alma mater's basketball game tonight, Villanova at Georgetown, but he had to come do the show instead. Georgetown leading 15-11 early first half. Maybe you can catch the second half, DY.
Yeah, I hope so.
Villanova Wildcats. I'm a Hoyas guy. Thank you, DY.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for calling. We'll see you soon. Take care, folks.